Before we start talking about the nitty-gritty, let's talk a little about the theoretical. I'm particularly interested in hearing from Adam, Jonah, and Stella, who are all considered the real thing, meaning entrepreneurs. How you define an entrepreneur?
You know, I'm kind of an accidental entrepreneur. I get interested in something, and I can't stop working on whatever it is that I get interested in. And sometimes, you know, I've worked for political campaigns, I've worked for nonprofits, but I think sometimes business is the best way to really make something grow and to pursue your passions.
And it's about thinking about the touch points of your brand. So when people interact with your brand or your company, where is it? Is it you personally? Is it your business card? Is it your email that you send out? Is it your Facebook? However they touch your brand, I would make a list of all the different touch points of your brand. Is it your secretary? Is it your friends? Whatever those touch points are, I would identify them.
Well, I mean, this may sound a little bit cold, but a lot of times it really just comes down to money in, money out. Having a business plan, figuring out how much it costs you to operate, and how much you stand to gain by providing your services to, you know, users, subscribers, whatever your model is. You know, you need to know what a user is going to be worth to you if you are advertising against them. If it's a subscription fee, how much is the product going to cost to create to keep this person a happy subscriber? You know, my background is in media, so I'm more familiar with questions that kind of play to those issues. But I mean, basically with any business, you've got a run rate and you've got what you stand to bring in, and if the second number is bigger than the first, you're making money.
Steve, you have to work with entrepreneurs. What's your observation about what they are and how they make things happen?
Well, first of all, actually, I am an entrepreneur by default. I am an example of the economy, the new economy that you live in. I started my career at CBS Records, Sony Music, and in the old days, that was a job for life, so long as you did it well. But because of digital technology, which we'll get into later, the record business is way off and employs about 25 to 35% of what it used to employ 10 years ago, and I am one of those.
Jonah, you're running, or you started one of the more famous entrepreneurial journalism businesses, Huffington Post. How big is that entity? When we talk about employment, when we talk about opportunities, can you give us some of the metrics involved?
The company has about 100 employees, give or take, and the site gets over 40 million unique visitors a month. And one of the things you see with internet companies is that they have a small number of employees that are able to reach a really large audience. So there's this kind of operating leverage that you don't see in a traditional in traditional businesses. And all of a sudden, we're in a world where you can instantly distribute information, you know, to anyone on their phone or to their computer, and you can have a company that now reaches more people than the Washington Post. The Huffington Post reaches more people than the Washington Post, more people than the Wall Street Journal, but with a much smaller team, and so it definitely is a big shift in the way the economy works.
One thing, especially when you're just starting out, even before you have partners, you can always have interns, and interns for the most part are free. And what's so great about working with interns is, and them working with you, is they get to really roll up their sleeves and be your partner, which is a really exciting opportunity for them. So we have lots of interns at Ladies Who Launch, and they're doing things like they're calling, Entrepreneur, or they're calling the Today Show for us. You know, we're giving them real work.
The experience I have is I had someone at Sony from an Ivy League college, a few, and then I had one guy from Nassau Community College who was better by far than anybody I had ever hired from any other school, because he was passionate about music, he was passionate about video, he was passionate about what I was doing. So that's my 2 cents.
God bless you. Thank you, and thank you. A round of applause for this terrific panel. Thank you all.